Hi, good morning and welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint. I'm Niraj Shah, and it's there's a lot of volatility in the futures of all the markets this morning because there's been a lot of to and fro around the trade deal between US and China. Now, just keep in mind that what the US markets did yesterday has become a bit inconsequential, even though the upticks continued and the Nasdaq hit those record highs, and therefore all of that continues to be fine. The Dow futures have had a very choppy morning. I think a Bloomberg terminal, if you can pull that up, and it'll show you uh, the futures rates, and now they're in the green. But I think look at that number, and that is looking at pointing at some bit of green right now. But the beauty is, just about half an hour ago, there was this belief, or there was maybe some misinterpretation by global media that Peter Navarro mentioned that the trade deal with China is over, and that was a problem really for the U.S. markets. There's of course, also a U.S. president signing the proclamation suspending H-1B visas, and that's an India-specific issue too for some companies. But that notwithstanding, Navarro then denied that the trade deal is over, and I think finally Donald Trump has tweeted that China trade deal is fully intact. Hopefully, they will continue to live up to the terms of the agreement. So the long and the short of it is, for now, there is no scare around the trade deal, but it just shows that in such highly charged environment, any bit of negative news could really take the markets lower. At a point of time, the Dow futures were down 400 points. Asian markets, they would have had a bit of a choppy, rocky morning, if you will, but bring up the couple of indices really that we can show you right now, and then bring up the SGX Nifty individually as well, because both of those two, or all three of those two, have had a fairly choppy morning at the beginning. I think at about 7 a.m. or 7:15 a.m., led by the U.S. markets fall, the Asian screen did dip into the red. Look at that. It's very choppy. That sharp top that you see is at 7 a.m. was probably as a result of this thing. But since the clarification has come in, HSI has moved up about 0.9%. So there is some strength there. Kospi back in the green, and that is actually not a bad sign. So the world markets are now breathing a sigh of relief. SGX Nifty 2, which was down in the red at a point of time, along with the Asian screen, I think at about 7 a.m., was down about 54 odd points. Look at that sharp slide there, is now back up in the green. So the momentum on the positive side continues. The only thing that bear this in mind, by the way, the only thing is, and on trade setup for the things that I point out today, I just have that one chart that we showed yesterday to try and show it to you again. It was talking about that resistance at the 200 weekly moving average, which is a very important one. And yesterday, our markets obeyed that. It was sacrosanct. In the last half an hour, 45 minutes, the markets came off after nudging that 200 weekly moving average resistance. Now, the question is, will that prove to be the Achilles heel for Indian markets again today? Or can we kind of eclipse that? And even if that doesn't happen, would the markets continue to stay in and around that? Look at that. Yesterday's session, we nudged that weekly moving average resistance point and came off from that. One just hopes that if indeed you are on the bullish side, you would be hoping that we can take that out or do not get bogged down by that. And then, of course, stock specific activity continues or no. Well, the FI flows are a bit benign. I must say, the last 2 or 3 sessions, we've had some positive numbers, and that should probably soothe some frayed nerves as well. Look at it in the reverse order: June 22nd, 424 crores, June 19, 120, 1237 crores, 367 crores. They have been a bit benign in the last 2 or 3 sessions. It's doesn't even mean anything, but yeah, interesting moves there. Now, viewers, normally I give you a stock of the day. Today, it could well be the oil marketing companies because of fuel price hikes. It could well be Geo because of the Bank of America Merrill Lynch report, which has laid out a very hefty valuation for Geo on the back of exit trade multiples. But I don't have a convincing stock idea or an idea about a stock that could really do well in today's session. So I'm going to refrain from mentioning the stock of the day today. But there are a clutch of names that are interesting and could react. So I think the UTI AMC has gotten the SEBI nod for the 3,000 crore IPO. I don't know if that keeps the AMC stocks in favor. Usually such announcements tend to do that. So do watch out for HDFC AMC, Motilal Oswal, as well as Nippon Life. HDFC AMC, of course, also given the declaration that they now comply with the SEBI's promoter shareholding norms. which would lead me to believe that no more stake sales from promoters would come in from HDFC AMC. And as the big bugbear that hit the stock last week, let's wait and watch if this one reacts positively. Nomura has come out with a couple of interesting notes, which I thought I should bring to you on Colgate Palmolive because they've initiated with a buy rating and a target price of 1620 rupees. Now, a couple of things that they are pointing out is saying that they expect elevated oral hygiene consciousness in India in COVID times to drive consumer habit changes. The company stepped up the innovation and the new product launches, which has helped the company fill up the white spaces in the oral care space. So they are bullish on Colgate Palmolive. It's a stock that hasn't quite rallied in line with some of the others. Let's see if this report can get the stock excited. Do watch out for that. And do watch out for Balkrishna Tires. They gave out the con call yesterday. And post the con call, they've posted some very positive commentary. Brokerages at large have been bullish. I'm bringing out the Nomura report, which maintains a buy and a target of 1445. And they're saying that the capex spends will drop off from FY22, which should drive a stronger free cash flow and margins could stay stable to marginally higher. So if bullish on BKT, let's wait and watch if this one has some positive reaction as well. But as I said, the NBFCs, geo, and oil marketing companies, those are the three that I would focus on from a trade perspective. Last but not the least, what stood out for me today? Well, twice in the last 4 days I'm mentioning Wirecard, but yesterday too, it sank to, it plummeted really. And this stock is arguably the talk of town in the last few days, simply because of the kind of fall that it has had. The Chinese National Bank is thinking of stopping the credit line to this one. And the reason I bring this up is if you see the middle patch, which is the first day that it fell 60%, and if you thought that a stock falling 60%, does it? Well, clearly it doesn't because it's continued to fall and continued to fall further. The falls may look less exaggerated, but keep in mind on the day of the first fall, it was trading at about 38. It ended at about 38, and now it's at 13. So the falls has been pretty precipitous even since then. And this one clearly stands out as the stock story of the last 1 week and definitely stood out for me today as well. But you have a profitable day ahead. Watch out, I say, dare say, for the financials yet again. Thanks so much for tuning into the trade.